Hi, so let's do a quick analysis. मेरी एक वीडियो सेगमेंट आती थी where we used to talk about the stocks which were weak and which were really good candidates for shorting, or at least to be aware that there are some chances that these stocks can reverse from here. So let's do a quick analysis of the stocks which are really weak and they look like really good candidates. So of course the first one which comes in is Dr. Reddy. So Dr. Reddy 5,000 से 4,500 के बीच के बॉक्स में थी, and this itself is a huge bearish candle, and going forward I think 4,500 will definitely get broken, and if that's the case then theoretically उसके बाद हम इसमें कुछ शॉर्ट्स पोजीशंस अपने बनाने की कोशिश करेंगे. Similarly is Adani Port had a huge breakdown. From it corrected from 800 plus levels, and now it's 700. Actually मैं इन्हीं दिनों में बोला था कि the levels of 700 are coming on 21st. If you go ahead and watch my video over there, and we actually did short, and then we were able to get some money. So now again it's in a very important juncture, and I think going forward अगर ये 700 को भी तोड़ती है, so going forward there can be a much bigger correction coming in Adani Ports. The third company is Pfizer. Pfizer has been able to hold this levels of 5,000 since last 4-5 sessions, even with the weakness in Nifty. So I would definitely say this is more up for a reversal candidate, and definitely अगर ये 5,000 या especially अगर 4,900 के 4,950 के नीचे अगर closing देती है, then definitely it's going to correct much below the levels of 4,500. The third company is Nam India. This also looks not good. So theoretically we were able to book out or at this all-time high, and from there it again went for this all-time high, and then it has started correcting acting this 3 candles. So this is a very interesting structure. Whenever you see this then you should automatically think on creating shorts, and this is exactly what happened. So from the levels of 430, so right now it went towards the levels of 410, and going forward I think 400 तक ये correct हो सकती है. SDFC MC also seems like there's some buying support, and this looks like a reversal candidate. Of course अगर ये 2600 को भी breach करती है, then going forward it will come towards 2500. We talked about 2500 way back on this particular day when we were sure that ये 3000 के ऊपर नहीं जा रही है, and the day it broke 2900 then definitely our more of a focus was on creating shorts. Of course let's see if it reverses from here. 2500 seems like a good support, and if you are a long-term investor and if you want to invest in HDFC AMC, there has been a considerable amount of correction. Of course it doesn't mean that your correct नहीं हो सकती है, लेकिन no matter what I think 2500 would be a good SIP level for your portfolio. Gale is also, you can see that this has been in a downturn, and going forward this particular is not good, and this is something similar to you can see over here. And then if such a structure comes in the next week, so today is 31st of October, in the first week of November, अगर ये 140 levels को hold नहीं कर पाती है, and right now is trading at 145 146 levels, no matter what it is going to come towards the levels of 140. So Gale is also a very sweet shorting candidate. Of course you can keep 150 153 यहाँ पे जो high बनी थी that as an important zone. अगर वहाँ पे आई, and if it again goes for a huge sort of profit booking, then theoretically we would be creating more shorts. Both Exide and Auto, they have the similar structure. You can see going towards this boundary, and then facing resistance for the next 3-4 sessions. And similarly here also you can see 4000 was a very strong resistance, and we talked about this on this particular day, that this is going to correct towards 3800, and it did in just 4-5 sessions. And now again going forward it seems like it's actually going down, and the main reason why we closed shorts in Bajaj Auto was because the result was due, and so you never know. But going forward this is very typical. So it's trying to get some support from 3700 levels, and maybe again we will be tracking how it is able to close at least above the levels of 3700. So 38 3800 and 3850 levels. But in general, and so this is also true for Exide Industry, is also trying to get some support from 170. It went towards 190, and you can see there was a huge amount of resistance over here, and from there it corrected, and just in a few sessions it even broke the earlier support of 180, and we created our shorts at 180 when it broke and closed below 180 at 178 levels, and from there we came towards the levels of 171. So this was good. Trend also is very near to its important support level of 1000. Any closing below the levels of 950 would actually take it towards the levels of 800. So sorry. So in general, this also looks really not that strong, but again, we would be seeing if it is able to move past the levels of 150. और यहाँ पे अगर इस तरह की एक कैंडल बनी, say in the next one or two trading sessions, अगर इस तरह की एक कैंडल बनी, then we would be tracking it for as a reversal candidate. ICICI Prudential Life is also, it broke the levels of 650 and now it's nicely consolidating. I think 600 would be an important support zone, और अगर 600 में आके उसको buying नहीं मिलती है, then going forward there can be further downgradation. Granules also you can see over here. Granules 320 को इस तरह से अच्छी से breach किया, and it was able to hold the levels of 320 earlier, and then it dipped and then it came up. So till then it was good, and then again it dipped. So here you can see that multiple times जब भी ये 320 region में जा रही है 325, so it's not even able to go towards the earlier resistance around about at 330. So I think going forward this can automatically correct towards the levels of 300. Hindustan Unilever is also making very small candles, and right now it seems like it's ready for a big move. So going forward हमें ये देखना है कि वो move किस तरह की आती है. Definitely जब तक 2500 के ऊपर closing नहीं आती है, this will be a weak counter, and here you can see that there has been a 3 big sell-offs after the result, and so going forward अगर इस levels को breach करती है, so right now it's trading around about at 2400 levels, and I think going forward definitely 2200 should be in the near vicinity. Similarly, you can see there is a weakness in HDFC Life. HDFC Life was unable to hold the levels of 700, and right now is trading. So going forward, there can be a more correction, and maybe 660 would be an interesting zone for us to track. Power Grid also, I think this is itself very much evident. It's trying to get some support from 180, and this at least for now we will just wait and see if it is able to breach the levels of 190 on a closing basis, and then we would be thinking about our next strategy. In general, अगर 180 and especially 178 175 अगर इस जोन के नीचे अगर क्लोजिंग आती है, स्पेशली अगर 180 के भी जोन के नीचे क्लोजिंग आती है, then definitely it will correct more towards the levels of 160. So as you can understand that these were all darling stocks, and so basically the with this market, the sentiment has started to change, and it has been making lower highs, and going forward अगर ये 180 को भी breach करती है, there can be more pain in this particular counter. Federal Bank at least is now able to hold these levels, and maybe Federal Bank अगर 100 के ऊपर closing देती है, it's not that bad. Syngene also, we talked about Syngene when it broke this particular day, and we talked about how this is going to correct towards the levels of 500. It came towards levels of 550, 570, 530 actually in the last session, and going forward it can be actually a pain. And अगर ये immediately ये 600 के ऊपर closing नहीं देती है, until and unless that happens, we will consider it as a weak counter. Similarly, Nestle India is also, after the result, is trying to hold this levels of 19,000. It corrected, you can see, from 20,000 in just it was a painful, gruesome correction. This was on a result day. It went, and then there was a profit booking. We created our shots on this particular day, and from there you can see it corrected towards 18,500 levels, and going forward I think there is a more correction which can come towards levels of 18,000. About India also is trying to get some support from 20,000. Any closing below this, just like on this particular day which happened, and definitely it will again be a weak counter, but I think given the sentiment on about so maybe we can at least see some near about reversal. जब तक ये फिर ये 22,000 के आसपास गए, then we would again be evaluating its strength. Dabur also 600 breach करके 580 तक गई थी actually, and we were able to close our shorts. The reason was pretty simple, we already knew FMCG counter was not working, और ये मैं वीडियो में भी पोस्ट किया था, and from this particular day 650 when it got breached, you can understand, so now it went towards the levels of 550. And this is also interesting for Motherson. Sumi is also trying to get some support from 220. This is a strong support zone. Let's see if it is able to hold it, else अगर ये 210 तक भी correct हो सकती है, if not 200. MRF good move, and then this correction has come. It also breached the earlier levels, and so going forward there can be more weakness in MRF. Canfin Home was perfectly fine. It was a very strong move, and then on this particular day it actually broke the trend, and from there onwards you can see there has been a correction, and right now it's more in a box. 600 is an important zone. Hero Moto Corp is also weak, so you can understand, even though companies जिसमें हम लोग invested थे, just like Escorts, which made an all-time high from the same sector, so companies like Hero Moto Corp, they are absolutely not able to stand. And from there has been a huge correction on this particular day. We created our shorts when it was unable to close below above 2800, because you can see this was actually a support level, and from there onwards you can see it has corrected at 2650 levels. So going forward, actually this was one of the shorts which actually was very helpful for us, because the auto was absolutely not performing, and going forward, other than Escorts of course, and so you can see these corrections are something which are very of interest to us. Britannia also 3600 seems like a very weak sort of 3600 seems like a support for us. अगर ये 3600 के below closing दी, then definitely they will be a much weaker candidate. REC Limited was between 150 and 160, and then it gave a breakout about 160, and then it went towards 52-week high. There was a lot of, and then on this particular day when it breached 160, we knew 145 was coming, and this is also when I posted the video, and so from here you can see it corrected, and now again it's unable to enter 160 level zones again. And going forward, definitely the levels of 140 can be very well be reached, until and unless ये फिर 160 के तरफ जाके अगर कोई closing नहीं देती है. HDFC Bank here is also, you can see it's trying to get some support from 1600 levels. We would be keeping HDFC Bank in our radar, so maybe it will correct towards the levels of 1520, 1530, and then we will see if it is able to move. BPCL as well as Amara Raja Battery seems to get some support from these levels, but again these are very weak counters, and also the BPCL is weak. So अगर BPCL में अगर 400 के टाइप आके अगर कोई बाइंग आई, then we would be tracking it. And for Amara Raja Battery 700 was very important, crucial zone. It breached it. अभी अगर 730 के ऊपर अगर closing नहीं आती है, especially 720, then going forward there can be a huge correction, and maybe going forward even the levels of 620 and 640 are in the vicinity, which would be very near to its all 52-week low. Deepak Nitrite also, very nice consolidation was happening, and then this particular event happened, and from there it was unable to move past and give a closing above 2500. That was our number one criteria to even think about longs, and then there was a gap down, and now it's trying to get some support. But going forward, I think Deepak Nitrite with any weakness in Nifty will correct towards the levels of 2000. TCS also, it was trying to hold the levels of 3600, and then this particular 3500, and then this particular day happened, and now you can see TCS is very near to 3400 3380 levels, and I think for me, as मैं पहले भी mention किया था कि 3300 में जब ये आएगी, then I would be deploying my next SIP, and definitely अगर ये फिर 3500 and especially अगर 3550 3570 के ऊपर अगर close देती है, then again we would be interested in playing the reversal. Muthoot Finance, it was unable to hold this 150 1500 levels after a good move towards our technical target. We discussed about target of 1600 when this particular move came, and then we were able to achieve that, and then going forward it has just in a matter of 3-4 sessions it has again come back to our zone. Going forward agar ye levels ko breach karti hai, then definitely 1400 and below levels are going to come. ITC, it was a good move. We entered round about at 238 on this particular days. After this particular day's closing, we entered on this particular day, and from there 238 we went towards 263. I booked out at 261 levels, and when I booked out I did tweet because this was more of a technical target, and then we were waiting for it to consolidate, but unfortunately the very next day the breakdown happened, and from there it has now been again coming towards the levels of 220. And I think humne is din after this day we talked about a particular number. If you go ahead and look for that particular day, the video which was posted, so I think that particular number is going to be acting like a support for ITC. Similarly, Petronet is also something which is sort of trying to get some support from 230 levels, and so we would definitely be tracking Petronet कि अगर ये एक अच्छी closing दे पाती है, then again maybe it will try to go towards the levels of 240. ACL Tech is also trying to breach these levels, but again a reversal can come in these companies. Definitely with any weakness in Nifty, the IT will act like a support, and that's actually what has been happening in the past. So definitely you should be tracking and seeing if you are able to get some these companies at these good rates, because you never know when this whole market will actually reverse. Similarly is Bajaj Finance. Bajaj Finance was unable to hold give a closing above 7500, and this was a known fact. We actually after the result, this was the day of the result, so basically we have earlier created positions over here, and then on this particular day when the breakdown came, and so we actually talked about how we are going to book out our profits at 74.50 levels. And the good thing is it actually opened much earlier at 7600 levels पे ये open की थी the next day, so we were able to book out our profits, because going forward I think 7200 is definitely in the cards in Bajaj Finance, until and unless it actually reverses and gives closing above say levels of 7700. so that would be a good reversal, and this zone has acted like support in multiple occasions, so we have to see. But again अगर 7200 7300 अगर breach करके अगर closing आती है, then going forward there can be a huge profit booking and correction in Bajaj Finance, and maybe then Bajaj Finance will enter into a bearish mode. It all depends on how the Nifty is, whether the Nifty is going to hold the levels of 17,500, and I have actually posted a video on the Nifty trends which we analyzed when Nifty was at 18,300 200 levels, जो मैंने 4-5 दिन पहले on Tuesday maybe I posted, it was on Tuesday night I posted the video. That video you will find it in the upper right hand corner I button पे, and you will also get it on at the end of this video, so maybe you can have a look over there. So PFC also ये 130 140 के breach करके then it went towards 150, and then after this breakdown we knew 130 was coming, and that's exactly what happened. So these are very typical bearish moves, and again if 130 gets broken then there can be a more correction, and his severe correction can come in. Hindalco was nicely consolidating. We entered at 500 when it gave a closing above the levels of 500 as we had discussed, and from there it went towards 550. So that was a good 10% move, and then from there we were expecting it will be able to hold the levels of 500, और जब ये 500 को hold नहीं कर पाई on a closing basis, so we entered over here, and from there you can see it went towards the levels of 450. So it was a nice good 50 points. So we earned 50 points on the top for this move, and then we earned 50 points on this move. Going forward I think अगर ये इस levels को अगर breach करती है, and if it is not able to at least get some support from the levels of 440 450, going forward it is going to come towards the levels of 400. Similarly Coal India is also in a box between 150 and 200, you can see. So this is also one of the companies which I really like to short, because of course going forward it doesn't matter of what the media is feeding and how much amount of coal shortage and everything is there. Coal is a sort of a dying sector, and we have to acknowledge that fact. RT also, you can see it was trying to get some support from 1000 levels, and then on the day before yesterday, when it gave this as poor closing below the levels of 1000, we knew that there can be some correction. Going forward, it will again try to enter the 1000, and then we have to see if it is able to hold that levels, and if not, then definitely this is going for a big correction, and maybe the levels of 900 is going to come soon, so which is like 10% from these levels. Godrej property also is trying to get some support from these levels, and let's see. Agar ye levels important, you can see this level was acting like a support earlier, and now also is acting like a support. Ye levels agar breach hoti hai, then automatically 2000 and much below corrections can come. Sun Pharma also, it was able to get some support at 800 levels, and so this level acted like a good support in the earlier instance, and now again it went, and this was actually the actual problem, because the time it actually broke the levels of 815 on this particular day. We created our shorts, and we expected 780, and yes, last time in the last trading session it came towards 780, and now we have to see if it is able to again move past it. So going forward, I think 780 770 is an important zone, because you can see this was a breakout from earlier 770 zone, and now it is again trying to get some support. Let's see what comes out of it. Coromandel also, huge amount of, whenever you see such a structure, you should be either booking out profits, or you should at least get some you should not be making your longs, because this actually structure is actually bound for a swift correction, and that's what happened when these levels of 850 got broken, and you can see it automatically corrected towards the levels of 200. Aisha Motor also, this was an important zone for support. When this particular day the closing was below 2700, it was actually poised for 2500, and that's actually we posted in the video, and that's exactly what was achieved in the last session. Going forward, we have to see agar ye levels could be maintaining, there can be a further correction. If I have to put my money, and I will definitely say it's a very simple short bet, and going forward I think 2400 भी breach हो सकती है. Similarly, National Alum, this is a typical bearish structure, and from there you can see 120 got breached, and we talked about 100, so it came towards 100, and right now it's trying to get some support from 100. Let's see if it is able to close at least, and able to give a closing above the levels of 105. Till then we would be definitely not be interested in here. So SBI Life, so since last few weeks, you can say since August, I have been talking about how I am going to stay away from all the insurance sector companies. So earlier we saw ICICI Prudential Life, we saw HDFC Life, and now we have ICICI Life, and maybe going forward ICICI GI bhi aani chahiye thi. Okay, yahi nahi hai. Let's see ICICI GI. Okay, so you can see, though it's actually not very evident, you can see even ICICI GI is much below 1500 right now. And so basically what I wanted to showcase is, we knew that this correction is going to come, so it's not like it's the end of the world. It's just like, if you are interested in SIP, why would you buy at 1200 when you are getting at 1100 levels, right? So going forward, this is a typical sort of trying to get some support at these zones of 1150, and going forward, of course, we are expecting 1100 and below levels in SBI Life, and if that happens, then it would again be interesting scenario. Infi is very near to its important support, and this is the reason why we saw all the major large cap IT companies, TCS, Infi, as well as ACL Tech in this particular presentation, in this particular video, and the reason is they are all near the important levels, and if there is further weakness in Nifty which is going to come, then these companies can at least act like a reversal and give some support to falling Nifty. GSPL is a new addition, and so here we can see it's between 300 and 320. So agar ye 300 ke niche closing deti hai, there can be a further correction which is going to come in. And even M&M Finance, 200 was our target, it was never achieved, and from there it is now coming at 180, and so it's still not bad until and unless a closing below 175 comes in, but that can easily come in, and then eventually it will correct more from here. So that's all, folks. These are few of the counters which are actually weak. I talked about a few of the counters जहाँ पे reversal आ सकती है. So if you are interested in doing SIP for your investment purposes, maybe these the times where you should be tracking it. And of course, I cannot recommend making your short trades. For that, you have to consult your financial advisor and your for all your investments and trading related queries. But these are few of the counters which I think are weak, and maybe going forward there can be further more weakness going forward. I hope this video is going to give you some idea of where we stand, and as usual, please do like the video, and please comment if you have any particular thing which you liked or didn't like about this video, and I would try to incorporate that in my next videos. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye bye. Enjoy your weekend.